You can replace this text with any text you wish. Some claimed later that it felt like time slowed. Others said it was the shock of seeing such a stunning display, celebrating his victory as my one picks a star with refreshing charm like the autumn sky. But for one young woman standing near exit 11, it felt like something else entirely, like the start of a story she didn't yet understand. Her name was Hannah, and she hadn't planned on stopping. She was late for work, frustrated with herself, and already half running toward the escalator. But when the billboard flashed, she halted so suddenly that the man behind her nearly bumped into her. She looked up. And in that instant, the world seemed to shift. The billboard wasn't just large, it was enormous, stretching across the upper wall like a window into a brighter, calmer universe. BTS's Jungkook stood there, not in motion, not singing, not performing, but simply existing in a way that radiated stillness and freshness. As if he alone remembered what it felt like to breathe freely when everyone else had forgotten. His eyes held a depth that contrasted with the chaotic rush of Seoul, and his expression carried that signature mix of confidence and gentleness that fans across the world love. Hannah felt something curious stir inside her, a kind of quiet awe. She wasn't someone who usually reacted so strongly to celebrity billboards. But something about this one felt different, intentional, almost mysterious. And she wasn't alone. People slowed their steps. Some smiled. A few raised their phones, capturing the moment, knowing instinctively that this wasn't just an ad. This was a celebration, a story unfolding publicly across the busiest station in the city. As the display shifted, words appeared across Jungkook's image. My one pick winner, a star with refreshing charm like the autumn sky. Passers-by murmured in admiration. The phrase sounded poetic, almost like the beginning of a legend. The kind told late at night when someone asks, "Do you remember where you were when?" For the next several minutes, Hannah found herself simply watching. She was surprised at her own reaction, but something in the atmosphere was changing, softening, as though the billboard itself were reshaping the energy around it. The air felt lighter. Even the noise of the station seemed to fade into the background. But then came the moment no one expected, the twist that turned an ordinary advertisement into an unforgettable scene. The screen transitioned to a series of clips. Jungkook laughing lightly in soft autumn sunlight, Jungkook walking through fluttering golden leaves, Jungkook glancing up at a sky painted in warm amber tones. It was beautifully filmed, almost cinematic, but the real surprise came when the display's ambient speakers activated. A gentle breeze-like sound filled the station, subtle enough to feel real, as though the crisp air of an autumn evening in Seoul had woven itself into the space between strangers. And as the final clip hovered on Jungkook's calm gaze, a soft voice whispered through the ambient audio, "Autumn arrives where he stands." Hannah's breath caught. People turned their heads, captivated. Even the busy professionals who normally ignored station ads took a moment to look. The line between ordinary life and something almost magical blurred, just for that instant. It wasn't about superstardom or fanfare, it was about presence. The presence of someone whose image could shift the emotional temperature of an entire station. Later, Hannah would think back to that moment whenever her days felt heavy. She would recall that billboard, the warmth of the autumn colors, the comforting calm in Jungkook's expression. She would remember how a simple display had reminded her that even in the speed of daily life, beauty still waits in unexpected places, and she wasn't alone. By evening, social media buzzed with clips of the billboard, fans sharing their excitement, tourists marveling at its scale, commuters admitting they had been momentarily moved by the serene charm captured on screen. The phrase refreshing charm like the autumn sky trended across platforms, echoing through comment sections and heartfelt posts. It wasn't just a description anymore, it had become a feeling people shared, a memory now woven into the rhythm of Gangnam Station. For Hannah, the billboard became a symbol of something else entirely, a reminder to pause, to look up, to let herself be surprised. She returned the next day, and the next, just to see it again, standing among strangers who had also found themselves drawn back to the same luminous display. Every day, the station felt a little less rushed, a little less burdened, as if the billboard itself had become an anchor of calm, a place where autumn lived year-round. And if you ever find yourself at Gangnam Station, you might feel it too, that subtle shift in the air, that quiet pull to look up, as though something extraordinary is waiting to meet your eyes. Maybe it's the magic of a well-crafted moment. Maybe it's the power of collective admiration. Or maybe it's simply the presence of a star whose light is steady enough to guide even the busiest hearts to pause. As the billboard continues shining, the story keeps unfolding through every commuter who stops for a second, every fan who shares a photo, every passerby who feels their mood lift without knowing why. Jungkook's AutumnSkyCharm has become part of the city's pulse, and if this moment moved you too, don't let it pass quietly. Stay curious. Stay open. Share the story. Let it reach someone who might need a reminder to look up today. Because sometimes, all it takes to change the rhythm of a day is a single unexpected moment, one glowing billboard, one calm smile, one star who carries the warmth of autumn wherever he appears.